Hi, everybody. This is a Pick Your Portal reading. And I decided to do this particular reading to add into the entire month of January. Anytime you feel you need extra support, or if you're looking for extra clarification on top of the weekly energy reports that are going to be coming out every Sunday. Because there is such a huge transformation of frequencies and energies from Capricorn Gateway 10 to Aquarius Gateway 11. And really, to me, that is representing stepping out of the old timeline and into this new future timeline. These two extreme polarities are really asking a lot of us. So I decided to actually add in this Pick Your Portal reading so that you could get some extra support, extra clarification that is unique for you. Okay, so let's jump in. I already have everything all lined up. So for Portal 1, if you picked the one with the pink and the number 1, let me see. Okay, so I'm using I'm calling it's a diamond spread, and I'm using a different types of cards. So I'm using 5 oracle cards, 1 tarot card, and 1 crystal with a message on it. So card 1 is going to give us the positive polarity. It's connected to Gateway 11, and it is connected to the future timeline that you've chosen and that you are attempting to resonate with, right? So that's going to be card 1. And for that card, you have I don't know if you're going to be able to see it with this background. Initiation by fire. Okay. So that is for that position. And then for position 2, you have connected to Gateway 10, which is your Capricorn or the old timeline. And so this is that masculine energy, and it is creating restriction for what you're wanting to step into in your future timeline. Okay, and so for that, we have this card, the Great Gathering. So, and then cards 3, 4, and 5 are connected to anything that you need to address, to clarify, to illuminate, to destroy, to remove, or whatever you need to bring these two polarities together so that you can diamondize yourself into being, into the timeline that you are moving into. Card 6 is going to be 1 tarot card to clarify everything. And then card 7, the position for that is going to be a crystal with a message written on it, which will have its own meaning. So let's jump in. Now we have the whole outlay for you. So you have initiation by fire as your future self. And then you have the Great Gathering for the masculine. This is the energy that is creating the polarity. So what I'm getting for this is initiation by fire is you're stepping into, passionately stepping into your purpose. You're surrounded by an orb. You're channeling this white light all the way through you. You're holding in your palms, 2 palms open, full of fire. And you are dressed all in white, and it is very sparkly, like diamond light colored. So to me, what you're showing me in this future representation is you're very in control of your energetic boundaries. You are holding fire. So you're holding transformation. That's what, to me, that is. You're holding transformation in your hands. And so you're able to transform density into light. And so that's your future timeline. The Great Gathering, it's all coming together, intuitive hits, and soul tribe. So what's been keeping you in your masculine here is showing me that you've been waiting for the right people to show up. You've been waiting for your tribe to really come together so that you're not doing it on your own. And it's having patience to allow everyone else who's also going through the same thing you're going through to get their ducks in a row so that they can be magnetized, so that you can be magnetized and brought together to start creating your whatever it is that you're meant to create together for the age of light. And to me, it is, I'm seeing, because this card has a lot of deserty looking background to it, I'm feeling like Sedona or Arizona area, or even, out west, New Mexico, that sort of energy. It feels like maybe you're being called to move in that direction, or maybe take a retreat or do something in that, like that. So that might be something that you have appeal to do. If you do, then definitely follow your intuition. And I feel like you're going to be bringing your group, your tribe, your soul team is coming together. They look like they're really lined up and heading to you now. So it's about taking your time, let things come together. And then for your 3 cards that clarify what you need to do to bring these 2 timelines together, you have a higher view. And this is also a woman who is writing on an owl. And owls have a lot of, obviously, I'm connected to them, have a lot of magical energy to them as well. And then you have trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? And you also have teacher, learn, upskill, educate, prepare. Okay. So for these 3 cards, what I'm getting is what needs to happen is taking a broader perspective. You've been waiting patiently for a long time, and now you're running out of patience. That's what it feels like. And there's a part of you that's receiving guidance because this higher perspective is coming in on an oracle, on an owl. I feel like you've been getting guidance about what you need to do. There's something about going somewhere or doing something, and perhaps it's even taking some kind of education or continuing education or a retreat, something that is adding to your own reservoir of skill and truth that you have within you. It's looking at things from a bigger perspective. And I also feel like maybe you've already taken a lot of different courses or had a lot of different studies, and you really want to get started on something, but it feels like there is another piece that you're being called to. And it doesn't feel like it was something you really planned on, and it just kind of won't leave you alone. I feel like you just probably need to do it. But whatever it is, you're definitely being guided through this higher perspective. And then also to me, that is your team asking you to elevate your consciousness, either through meditation or connecting into source, however that you connect into your higher form of guidance, and bring that awareness through. It feels that your guides are trying to work with you to bring something through for you. So that is something to explore. And then trust your path. If you knew you'd be supported, what would you do? So there's still some element of subconscious programming or something that is in your survival mechanism or survival mode, body somatic entrained program, even in the limbic system, that is saying that maybe you don't feel supported, right? So you were gathering. Remember, the thing that was causing the restriction is the great gathering, right? And you're waiting for your soul's family to come together. So maybe you don't feel supported or haven't felt supported because you don't want to go on your own to do whatever it is that you're going to create. But what your team is saying, just imagine what would you do now? What could be the next logical step that you could take if you knew that you had this team that was coming in and that you were going to have the support that you need, regardless of what that support is. It could be resources, people, funds. It could be the ability to get to wherever this thing is that you're going to go to. So whatever the resources look like, if you just felt like, if you can imagine what that feels like to have it, just pull on a past experience from a time that you felt supported, or work with gratuity is what they're telling me. So do a gratitude journal or something like that, just to get yourself in the right frame of mind. what would be your next step then? So they're also showing me that you're meant to be a teacher, right? So the teacher card could be, are you meant to be a teacher, or is there some sort of class that you need to take? Maybe you need some sort of teacher training. I feel that maybe you already are a teacher. You could possibly already be teaching or have taught something about spirituality, energy, or frequency. And now it's shifting because there is a lot more understanding around our inner technology, around future timelines, around what's going to be needed in humanity. And so maybe you need a few more skills that you don't really currently have. So whatever it is that you need, think about those things, whatever it is that you are wanting to create in the world, and what can you add to it? Because in January, you're not supposed to be jumping into creating it. I know that sounds kind of backwards, but that fire that you have, the initiation by fire, you have that fire coming in, and that's in the future. That's your future timeline. You have to resolve this other part first, right? So it means go in and really think about the thing that you're wanting to create. What are you waiting for? If you just know that whatever support you need is coming, if you can move past that obstacle in your mind, then what would be the next step? And so start looking for what else you may need as far as resources, education, training, to be able to step into your high divine purpose pathway in February, because that's when you're going to be able to start. That's when you're going to be able to move more fully into that next step, whatever it is, by the end of January and into February. So that is my guidance for you, for if you chose portal number 1. Okay, so now we are going to move on to portal number 2. So let's reset and get ready. Okay, I'm just kidding. Before we move on into the next set, you actually have 2 more placements left. So you have your clarifying card, which was tarot, and I use my tiny tarot, so I don't know if you can even see it, but it is the Queen of Wands. Okay, so that clarifies everything I was just talking about with the initiation by fire, because the Queen of Wands is the fire queen, right? She's the one who's fiery, passionate, purposefully driven in her divine feminine. So that's a balanced masculine feminine. And I feel like in this higher state, it's not impetuous. It's not making, just irrational choices and blasting forward anyway. It's the fire that is driven by divine purpose and passion. So as a clarifier, it's perfect. It means it has to do, wands typically have to do with your work. So I also think that, again, we're going back into that whole underlying thing of what is it that you want to create, because that has a lot to do with what you're working with for the month of January. And so for the last position, the crystal that you received with the message on it is magic. And it is in a like a red and black stone. I actually don't know what the stone is. I would say probably a jasper. But again, it's giving Southwest feels to me. So Arizona Sedona and magic. So that is also very similar to transmuting energy, alchemizing through fire, right? Because you have the fire again. So to me, I would really pay attention to that process of alchemy, divine alchemy, and how to transmute density. That is something that I think would be really good for you. Also, you could do that for yourself. It's like, are you transmuting the density that you are pulling in? If you're already working in the spiritual world and in the energetic world, are you transmuting the density? But I feel like you're going to be called, actually, maybe even they're showing me like you could possibly even be doing work with earth, working with ley lines. You may be called to certain regions, locales, places, so that you can transmute density for earth of particular areas and groups. So that might be something about the teaching that you're working with. It's a lot of different things for portal one. So kind of find your way through it, see what works for you. And the major message there is to honor the fire that you have within. Okay. All right. Sorry. So now we're going to move on to our next portal, portal 2, which is the yellow or golden portal. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now we are moving on to portal number 2. I had to reset, and here we go. So I'm using the diamond spread. It has 7 cards, or 7 placements. The first 5 cards are oracle cards, and the 6th card is a tarot card as a clarifier. The 7th position is a crystal with a word written on it, and we'll see what that means when we get there. So for you, the first card position, which is representing your future timeline. So the first card position is your divine feminine aspect, your future timeline, gateway 11, Aquarian energy. It is your purpose, your divine purpose, right? And then card 2 is going to represent what is obstructing, what's creating the polarity, what's creating any kind of restriction for your future timeline of what you're wanting to create. It's also the masculine energy, and it's also the negative polarity. So cards 3, 4, and 5 are cards that will help you to know what you need to address, clarify, illuminate, destroy, or transmute, whatever you need to bring those 2 polarities together, those 2 timelines, and diamond dies into being the timeline of your choice. Okay. So then card 6, position 6, the tarot card, is going to clarify everything that we get. And then 7 is a crystal with your written message, and that's the outcome. Okay, here we are. Here we go. Let's get going. So there's my dog. Sorry. So your first position, you have the pink rose of Lady Nada, which is perfect to represent or to show you your divine feminine aspect. And this is your future timeline. This is connected to the positive polarity, gateway 11. So the pink rose of Lady Nada, and it's 29, which is an 11, which is a master number, and also tells me that you are going to be highly activated in the month of January with the 111 gateway. So on January 1st, which is today, it's going to be a big day for you, or January 11th is another big day for you. So look for downloads, messages, insight to show up for you for those particular dates. And then your second position card, which is connected to the thing that is creating the polarized resistance for you achieving your timeline of desire, which is the Lady Nada, right? So that is awakening and energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. So what's causing the restriction is the awakening codes that are coming in for you, the integration period. Probably it is, maybe you're experiencing some physical light symptoms, the movement out of this old energy body, the density is also represented in your physical body. So maybe you're dealing with toxicity, either in the body, or toxic thoughts or behaviors, things that you're trying to overcome. One of the cards that you got for the three cards that how to deal with collapsing these 2 polarities so that you can connect to your desired timeline is quieting the mind. And it's someone meditating, right? So I feel like quieting your mind is going to be a big help for you. I feel like you're connected into the consciousness, to the mass consciousness. So you might be grounded in the 3D energy. So when you bring light through your center column, make sure that you are grounding into the new earth, the healed earth, the luminous earth, the golden earth, anything, right? So you want to designate which timeline you're choosing, which polarity, which not polarity really, but which we're in this bifurcation period where we're having these two earth experiences. I feel like there's actually more than two, but really it's either the love or the fear camp. So make sure that you're connected into the love camp, right? So just make sure you're plugged into the right timelines and the right earth energy. So again, so the other things that you received for what to work on to be able to collapse the two energies to get you on the right timeline is cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. We're going to go over what these mean, what I'm getting for these. And then the last one is medium, culminate, consult, connect, convey. Okay, so we had this medium. All right, so let's go over these now. So Lady Nada, you're connected into the divine feminine Christ frequencies and lineage. Lady Nada is also Mary Magdalene, and she is the partner of Lord Sananda or Jesus. So depending on what lineage you're looking at, you're connected to the tribe of 144, to the Christ family, right? So there's also in this picture, there's two pools here, two different cups, and that is the masculine and feminine. So one of the issues that I'm getting is that maybe you're having a challenging time integrating your masculine and feminine sides, where your mind is wanting to control the outcomes, you wanting to have outcomes and be in control of that process, when really you're being asked to surrender. Right. So in the card that is showing the masculine aspect, or the thing that is creating the resistance from you receiving your full Christed lineage, which is what Mary Magdalene is asking of you, is this one that says awakening, and see how she's floating. That's full surrender, right? That's like the trust fall. So what they're asking is for you, in order to receive these energetic upgrades and everything that's coming in for you, to surrender to the process, to allow your mind to quiet, to do what you can do to relax everything. They're also showing me grounding again. So being outside in nature, putting your feet on the grass. And if you can't, because it's cold, you can also do other things to ground, using salt, going to salt rooms. You can do different types of, like, there's grounding mats. You can do other type of things like that. So hold on one second. Make sure my dog is not going to bark on me. Okay. So those are other good ways that you can ground. Floating in water would also be good. So if you're near bodies of water and can do that and not freeze, that's one thing. Or you can also do float tanks, so would be good. Anything that is going to allow you the feeling of surrender, right? So just like when you can relax and just float, it can be, even if you're able to do a meditation where that's what you're imagining that you're doing. So that would be really beneficial for you. It feels to me that in order to reach this timeline that you're wanting to connect into with your Christed energy of the Mary Magdalene, which is all about the mystery schools even, I feel like you're already in this position of rock bottom, right? This cracked open, surrender to the alchemy of life. And we talked about surrender already, but this is you can't see the picture very clearly, but it is a high priestess looking figure that is split in half. So again, there's that dualistic energy of the masculine and feminine sides that need to be integrated. So I feel integration of your masculine and feminine really is something that you're working on and continuing to work with. I think it's great. Whatever you need to do to work with that process. And I feel that, you're already there. You're already there at the bottom, putting all the pieces back together. It's allowing the process to unfold. One of the things that you can do as a tool to help with this integration process, using your brain as like the master controller of your whole body awareness and intelligence, is to use like a figure eight. And imagine that it is going down the center line as the apex of the figure eight, and that you're just looping both hemispheres together down the midline. So when you integrate the brain, it integrates the rest of the body. So try doing that to see if it helps to bring both halves of your glorious self back together. So that's one thing that you can try, or doing frequencies. I'm also getting would be good for you, listening to frequencies for balancing the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Maybe do 528 hertz. You can do something, the Schumann resonance connected to, I'll have to look it up. Oh, 732. I want to say 732, but look up the crown chakra even. You can look up crown chakra, anything that works with the brain, frequencies of balance and harmonizing. You can do that. You can do long, deep breathing into the heart space with a count of 4 or 5, breathing out for the same measure, count 4 or 5. And you keep doing that. What you're doing is training your nervous system. And that pushes down on the vagus nerve and allowing the vagus nerve to become more toned, so that you're not going into survival mode easy. It creates a new baseline for coherence in doing that. So practice that long, deep breathing in for the count of 4 and breathing out for the count of 4 or 5, right? You just want the same count in, same count out. That will help slow everything down as well. And then for your other card that you got for your supportive card is medium. So culminate, consult, connect, convey. For this, I feel like you are somebody who receives guidance. Maybe you are a medium, and maybe it's somebody who's crossed over. Maybe, yeah, because I do feel like they're in this particular portal. In the beginning, I saw somebody who is crossed over, supporting from the other side. So if you have somebody on the other side that's crossed over that you have a relationship with, maybe that's where you're consulting with, or it is your light team or your spirit guides, or a particular, it could be any of the Christed family lineage. So you can ask for support by the order of Mary the Magdalene's. All of those energies are available for you. So if you get still quiet doing the breathing exercise, you can get quiet in the mind and then connect into these external energies to see what type of support you can get for that. And then for your clarifying tarot card, we have the 8 of Wands. Okay, this tiny tarot, you can't even see it. So 8 of Wands, and wands are also about your work. So it's coming in fast. And again, we have this energy that we're in right now throughout January. You're moving from January from Gateway 11. Sorry, back up. Gateway 10 into Gateway 11, which is Capricorn into Aquarius. To me, this is showing the particular time of energy that we're in, where we're leaving the old 3D and moving into a higher density, which is in the 4th and 5th dimensions. So whatever it is that's showing up for you that is going to help bring all this together is coming in fast. And I also feel like, there's a lot of fire, action, quick movement in this card, the feeling of this. And that fire energy is also really connected to the 1111 portal, or to that 1111 gateway. So again, pay particular attention on the 11 and the 111 corridor, because it's connected to Aries or to gateway 1, which is all about fire. And that new foundation built on trust and your divine self, rather than the foundation built on the lower chakras and the old energy of material and that sort of thing, right? So you're elevating your foundation into this more balanced state. And I think maybe that also has to do with the grounding energy that we talked about. So again, practical guidance there would be grounding. It would be working with fire energy. It would be connecting on the 1111 portals, because that is going to have some major activation for you, and quieting the mind. Okay. And so the last one that you have in the last position is the crystal. It says live, Live. And it is an orangish, I think this is probably a jasper, but this is connected, I'm actually feeling like it's connected to the second chakra, sacral, which is a holy womb chakra, very much connected to the Shakti energy, connected to Mary Magdalene, and a lot of with the mystery schools is kind of what I'm getting. So I don't know if you've done any kind of work with your holy womb chakra, or, clearing your maternal lineage, and paternal lineage from the second chakra and your throat chakra, which is really connected to the mouth of God chakra at C1. It's in the back of the throat. So we always think about just the front of the throat, but actually the back is the receiving area, and C1 is the atlas that's connected to the mouth of God chakra, and that all loops together. They loop together between that and the holy womb. So it is, you carry those spiritual threats at the back of the neck. So maybe you've been having neck issues, or have had neck issues, or headaches, neck issues with rotation or pain. And that could also be connected. The bottom end of that is at the holy womb chakra, which would be low back, sacral, SI joints. And so those two need to be balanced out. So you could even do chiropractic work with the atlas. And let's see, we already talked about balancing the left and the right hemisphere. I really feel like C1 atlas might help even with the balancing of the left and right hemisphere. So those are my suggestions. It's a lot of information. I hope that there's something there for you that works on Portal 2. And so now I'm going to reset, and we'll do Portal 3. Last one. Okay, portal number 3. Lots of information coming in for you. Okay, so let's kind of just go over what the spread, how it's going to be laid out, because you can't really see it. So I'm going to tell you. It's a diamond spread. There are 7 positions. The first card is connected to your positive polarity, gateway 11, divine feminine, positive polarity, or Aquarian energy, because this is for the movement from the Capricorn into Aquarius energies to help support anything extra you need to know this month, through the month of January and into the month of February, as these two energies are having this exchange of timelines, right? So to me, the Capricorn is very much connected to the old way of being, this old, the old system. And the new timeline is in the Aquarian Gateway 11, which is all about community and intuitive, your feminine aspects of the intuitive side of you, connecting into the future and to working with humanity as a whole. So we're in this huge, to me, paradigm shift of moving from one energy to another. So this particular reading is for everyone to give some extra support, right? So Gateway 1, again, is about that, what you're moving into, the future timeline that you're wanting to connect to and to gravitate towards, to magnetize towards, to resonate with, right? So card 2 then is gateway 10. It's the older energy. It's the old timelines that you're wanting to collapse so that you can diamondize yourself into your diamond self and to connect to the timeline that you desire to connect to, which is the highest timeline available for you, right? So cards 3, 4, and 5 are the things that you need to address, clarify, illuminate, to destroy, to bring to the surface, to transmute, whatever it is that you need to know about the two polarities on how to bring those together so that you can be more of your most luminous self, right? Okay. And then card 6 or position 6 is going to be a clarifier tarot card. And then number 7, the position of 7 is going to be a crystal that I picked for you already. Okay. So here we go. What you received for first position as your Gateway 11 future timeline that you're connecting into is Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. I'm going to give them all to you first, and then we'll go through it. So that's your feminine aspect, what's going on for February. And then the energies for Capricorn would be forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. And then the 3 cards that we have for what we need to know to be able to bring those two polarities together and to step onto our highest timeline and highest path is dance with life, do something to change your energy, awakening genius, and then you have the mystic. No, as in KNOW, seek, contemplate, and philosophize. You see her? Okay. She's very cool. She's got a crystal, big giant pink orb around her. All right, so let's jump into this. So Earth School, see how she's flying? I was getting a lot of information. This is a lot of air energy that's going on in this reading. So you're either an air sign or you are really connected to the age of Aquarius. I'm also receiving information and guidance that whoever chose this portal has a lot of starseed energy as well. I was getting Andromedan and Sirius and Palladian. So there's a lot of starseed energy in this particular portal for those who are here. So I also feel that you've gone through your fair share of challenges, soul growth, right? We've learned in the Capricornian age and in the old paradigm, we had to learn through pain and suffering. And it feels that that's something that you experienced your own fair share of. And you've learned a lot, life lessons. You've been, it's really helped to propel you forward. And then we have the forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. So I feel that you went through a lot of challenges in your life in order for you to have a reservoir of knowledge that is awakening within you. So not only did you experience it in this lifetime, but it's also awakening the genius, awakening all of that old energy that is already within you, because we have all of the stored technology in our DNA that expresses as we move through the gateways, which is part of my cosmology. But as you move through those gateways, you activate certain diamond keys, and that starts to awaken knowledge that you already have, knowledge that has been yours, that you've earned through other lifetimes. And so I feel that that's what is waking up within you now, right? So this awakening genius. I also feel that you're very connected to the element of air, connected to the mind, the brain, but it's also learning from this Earth School card. I'm getting that learning, moving through the lessons that you've been through, and working with how to use that energy, the air energy of what you learned through your mind, and to connect with it differently so that you can help people understand what life is all about, why we go through such hard times, why have people experienced such challenging or difficult situations, and why are some people's, it's all perspective, but some people feel that theirs is the worst. People always say that, theirs is the worst scenario ever, because we can only see from our own vantage point, our own perception. But there's something around, you're going to work with people, and I feel like maybe it could be more somatic. You're helping people to release somatically, physically, from the physical, where it's stored in the body, rather than addressing it from the mind. Either that, or you're working with leaving it, moving it from the mind and also from the body. I also would imagine you might be connected to movement in doing this, or dance, because you have dance with life, do something to change the energy, right? And I feel like maybe that's something that you have done for yourself. You've learned that by moving the energy in your body, you're able to move it from the recesses of your mind, those mental loops, mental patterning, subconscious programming, and where it's stored in the energy bodies, but also in the nervous system, right? And in the breath, because when you're dancing, you have to control your breath and your breathing. Also, it is moving it from the fullness of the body, the feet, all the way to the head, right? There's a lot of electrical current that moves from the feet to appropriate neurons that they're connected to. So working with reflexology, or conversely, working with cranial sacral. So there's some sort of duality that connects from the physical exchange of energy, or somatic, into the mind or mental part of the brain, and how those two intertwine. There's something there for you as far as how to approach what you're going to be teaching and following, whatever your passion is in this new earth paradigm that you are that you're resonating with, that you're connecting into. The Awakening Genius card also is giving me vibes of like shamanic work, old shamanic energies. Maybe there's things that you will recall from previous lifetimes where you work with the earth and shaman energy. And there's also, even with that, it's like this ancient energy or wisdom, but there's a lot of facial movements or body movements that are stored from the beginning of time that are connected to our survival technology, the old survival energy that is stored. And so like when you make certain muscle movements, it triggers certain things in our psyche and our nervous system, because they've been there, they were a part of our survival story for so long. So there's something about that, even this, like the energy that you're going to be bringing forward and what you're creating. You may be creating your own type of movement program or entrainment program. There's something about, it'll be different, right? So you're not going to stick with the status quo, and it's not about what you've learned in this lifetime. It's not going to be like, what you went to school for or what you've been studying. Maybe even it's going to be something that is going to be, futuristic, cutting edge, in that's because it's tied to your future timeline that you're gravitating towards. And everything you've been through with the Earth School is what is propelling you there, right? So it is for the future timelines, and you're building it for humanity to understand. Oh, I see. So it's Earth as a collective. Earth is, as we're going through this bifurcation and we're built, having two new earth experiences that are kind of like overlapping, running side by side. You can already tell who's connected to, different timelines or different, that polarity of energy, right? So earth is also going through the same experience. And so with that, there's going to be earth movement, more earth changes, and these changes are becoming more pronounced because we've already been in this energy. It's already been happening. But what's coming, I feel, this year is going to be shifting humanity in a bigger way. And there will be people who are not prepared energetically or mentally or emotionally for what shows up in the world for them. So there's going to be people like yourself who will be creating programs and ways of working with larger groups of people to help them to release trauma and to have the capacity of elevating into higher, like air sign, mental kind of understanding, because you're very much connected in that air energy. And so, yeah. So let's see what else. Is there anything else I need to talk about here? Mystic. So the mystic energy, this last card that came through as far as one of the what you need to work with. I think this is more of what you're awakening within, right? That still goes to that shaman energy, but the mystic is not the older shamanic energy. This is more connected to the divine feminine. It's crystals, and this is more connected to your star seed energy. I feel that is what's awakening and needs to be integrated more, because you've been very connected to earth and the shamanic energy and the old indigenous healing arts or something like that. And now you're taking that healing energy and it's what's awakening now within you is that starseed elemental energy that's taking you into that airspace of working with your inner knowing, your clairsentient. It is trusting all of that new understanding that is being unearthed within you. It's through your own inner technology. And so it's going to allow you to start playing with what's showing up for you, and to embrace it. Really, it feels like it's something that you've kind of pushed off a little bit, that you've preferred your healing or your modality of working with energy being physical and tangible. And now you're being asked, because it's very earth-based. You went from being very earth-based, now you're moving in the element of earth, and then now you're moving into the element of air. It's like, which is actually what we're talking about here anyway. We're talking about moving from earth Capricorn into air Aquarius. But you are like the cutout paper picture perfect example, because I feel like everything that you've been involved in has been very tangible, earth-based healing. And now because you've been a healer, you're probably already doing this work. You're just being asked to bring it into the airspace and into your starseed capabilities. And by doing that, so the clarifier I got is the Ace of Pentacles. And an Ace of Pentacles is receiving, abundance. To me, this is your divine inheritance. So it's that. It could be maybe you're given the resources to be able to pursue what you want to pursue or build or create that has to do with what it is that we were just discussing. It could be that you are, it could be a inheritance of some sort other than divine inheritance, because inheritance is what I'm hearing over and over again. But it feels like it's coming from something you've earned through lineage, through your earth's troubles or school, and you're stepping into that completion that you've been stepping into. To me, that's where it feels like it's coming from, but it certainly could come from other avenues, because God, source, creator will bring you the resources you need and your abundance in unfathomable amounts of different ways. And so you don't want to tie down to it only coming in from one direction. It could come in from anywhere. So in any case, what that means to me is that you are receiving all of your abundance, right? So it's all this awakening that's happening within you that's sparking this new understanding of connecting to your divine intuition from your feminine angle, from the higher galactic even. So even more galactic energy that's coming in, I'm feeling now. So you can have more understanding of your galactic heritage as well. So maybe you're going to start connecting into that, receiving downloads, major downloads I'm hearing from your star family. And so the token that we received, and it's also earth, right? So pentacles are earth, right? And then so the token was actually air, and it is in a sodalite, which is purple stone, which is connecting to the third eye. And it is about connecting in with your higher guidance and with the energy of air, your galactic or a cosmic family. It's also connecting into your mental, the healed mind. So your higher mind, you're overriding the reptilian, and that is when you're able to bypass a survival story and connect into your higher mind. And you do that through staying in a coherent state. And you can do that through breathing from like the heart, breathing into the heart for the count of 4 or 5, breathing out from the heart for the count of 4 or 5, starts to reset your baseline of your heart rate variability. And so maybe that is something that you're going to be working with, moving into these different somatic ways of releasing. And whatever you're going to be doing is going to be very profitable and amazing. And so I think you are probably already in the thick of this. You're probably already have been going through this awakening process and starting to look at how to work with all of this new energy that's coming in as far as healing and connecting into what's next for you in this higher timeline of the New Earth experience. So I hope this was very helpful for you, and I hope that everybody got what they needed out of this. And look for the weekly energy reports that come out on Sunday. I just finished recording, and they are pretty amazing, which is what led me to create this extra video with the Pick the Portal reading to help support you even more. There is a lot of energy coming in the month of January as we transition into February. So I hope that you have a wonderful month and that this was very helpful. And if there's anything else I can do for you, you can reach me in the description box. You'll find the Linktree QR code, which has a way to find me pretty much anywhere that I am, or schedule private sessions. Okay. So take care, and I will see you next time.